What's going on, guys? Blame Truth here. Unfortunately, in this video, as you probably guessed from the title, I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Unfortunately, yet again, I have to cover some problems with the Call of Duty franchise. I was on like a 2-video streak there of being positive, but again, man, I don't think it's the devs' fault. I think Infinity Ward is going to try to give us a good game this year, but it's the people behind them, the suits running the show, that just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And today, yet again, it seems they don't know what the fuck they're doing. I'm going to cover a few good things. There is one bit of positive, I guess, news here, but it's I got to cover two things where they just royally fucked up yet again. And one thing involves the new ports coming out, because I'm afraid that they are just completely DOA. I don't think it really matters what they do or don't do to them. They are going to be a colossal fucking failure, which is so sad. But without further ado, let's get right on into the meat and potatoes here, because I got a lot I want to get off my chest. So first things first here, let's cover the good news. If you want to call it that, this is a stretch for good news, because it's actually much more sinister than it first appears, okay? So, thanks to the great community response, Black Ops Classic is now a permanent addition to Black Ops 7. With the arrival of Season 4 Reloaded, 4 more iconic maps from previous games will be added to the rotation: Launch, Fringe, Hacienda, and Gridlock. If you guys are living under a rock and you don't know what the Call of Duty Black Ops Classic, whatever it's called, mode is, it's basically, they removed all the stupid fucking bullshit that they've added for the last, I don't know, 10, 12 years or whatever, and they just went back to like Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2 style movement. That's it. That's all they've really done. It's still the same shitty Black Ops 7. It still looks like an AI-generated pile of garbage, but you can play it without having an aneurysm now, and I think that's a step in the right direction. But the reason I say it's much more sinister than it appears is because the people at Treyarch now mostly are not the original Treyarch devs. So all these guys are doing here, and this is what is getting so much praise from the community, and it's actually really fucking pathetic when you think about it, but all they are doing is just literally stealing content and the way the game played from the past and bringing it into Black Ops 7 halfway through the game's life cycle in an attempt to save face, because every time they try something quote-unquote new, it fucking sucks. And that's essentially it. I know T-Dog wanted me to play Black Ops 7, more specifically the Black Ops Classic mode, but there's just too much friction. There's too much friction in between me just playing the fucking game mode. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me give you an example. Let's say I'm trying to lose weight, right? But I go to the store and I buy a box of Oreos, a container of Oreos, and I put it right here next to my PC where I do commentaries, and it's just within reaching distance. It's very easy to eat those Oreos. There is no friction between me and the chocolatey cookies that are sitting in front of me. Does that make sense? Okay? It's going to be very hard for me to lose weight with those cookies right there. So what I would do to create friction would be I would take those Oreo cookies and I would go and I get a step ladder and I climb up to the top of the ceiling, and I would put the cookies on the very tippy top of my shelf where I have to get a ladder to go get those cookies yet again. Or I'd put them in a cookie jar that requires, like, I don't know, a 20-digit code, upper and lowercase letters, like an old NES game, like I'm trying to, get to Dracula on Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest or something. And I would use that as friction so that I wouldn't want to eat those cookies. It's just too much of a hassle for like a few cookies. You know what I'm saying? So here's the issue with modern day Call of Duty. If I wanted to boot up Black Ops 7 and play Call of Duty Classic mode, I would have to first purchase the game. I'm not going to do that. I did not buy Black Ops 7. I got a free Game Pass voucher. I played it for 15 minutes, and I never want to touch it again. So that was that. But regardless, if I wanted to play Black Ops 7, I'd have to use my Game Pass voucher that I got from buying a new TV a couple months ago. I have that, for a rainy day. Well, I'd have to first download Game Pass, enter in the code, download Black Ops 7, which takes like fucking an hour, despite me having fiber internet, the best internet money can buy in America, pretty much. It would take me about an hour to download and install it, I'm sure. And then I'd have to boot it up, and I'd have to boot up the COD HQ, and I get an update requires restart. Then I would have to reboot it, and then boot it up again, and then boot up Black Ops 7, and then I'd get hit with another update requires restart. And then I'd have to close out of both COD HQ and Black Ops 7 and reboot them. And by the time I get in, let's not forget the shaders. They have to load. It takes like 5 extra minutes for the shaders to load. And then to top it all off, I have to sit through some like mid-season cutscene that I don't want to see for Nick Cage, and they spelled his fucking name wrong. Yeah, Nicolas Cage is coming to Call of Duty, but they used the wrong spelling for his name. It's always been N-I-C Cage. Now, I mean, let's not debate on if this is a silly skin or not. I don't really know, and I don't really care. I don't think it fits the Black Ops identity, but whatever, dude. You know, Nick Cage is in DBD, but again, it's N-I-C. I don't know why this bothers me so much. You just don't add a K to the motherfucker's name. A K is not in his name, Nicholas. It's just not. That's not how you spell it. So why is it Nick with a K? I don't know, dude. Maybe it was AI generated. Who fucking knows? Regardless, no, I'm not going to play Black Ops 7 Classic mode and sit through all of that bullshit for like an hour and a half just to play the goddamn game. So sorry, I'm not doing it. I hope everyone that enjoys it, but not me. I will say this, though. It's a lot easier on your controller, not spamming movement constantly. But, you know, if you've been playing Black Ops 7 and Black Ops 6 and these other movement Call of Duties the past several years, you might need a new controller. And that's where today's sponsor comes in. FlyDigi controllers are personally the best controller I have ever used. I've been using an Apex for the past 2 years, but their new offering here, the Vader 5S, has just replaced that one because it's even better. There's an Amazon Prime Day sale going on, and you get Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, as you can see there, for a month with this purchase. But also, the Vader 5S is just a phenomenal controller alongside of that great bargain. You get tension rings to adjust your sensitivity with the sticks. No stick drift whatsoever. Tons and tons of buttons. Rotary pivoted D-pad, trigger locks, fine-tuned trigger vibration. Everything on this controller is exactly what I want, and it lets me do things like this in DBD when I need fine-tuned precision for looping the killer. But this controller is great for everything. FPS, DBD, you name it. And right now, again, it's on sale during Amazon Prime Day from the 23rd of June to the 26th of June. So visit the link in the video description or the pinned comment and pick yours up before the sale ends. Happy gaming. All right, guys, welcome back to the video. Definitely pick yourself up a FlyDigi controller. It's just phenomenal. I will seriously, outside of the ad, never use another brand of controller. They are fantastic. Anyway, let's get into the main meat and potatoes here. I covered something good. I covered something bad. Now let's cover something really bad, okay? Let's really move past just the cringiness of Nick Cage being misspelled and also just being an operator in general in the year 2026, but I digress. Let's cover these Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 ports coming out, because I came across a Reddit thread that pretty much has just sealed these games' fates before they even come out. And this is going to be a bit of a nerdy read here, but I think you need to see it all, and I'll try to explain everything as we go, okay? So 3 days ago, this Salt Painter guy on Reddit, on the Black Ops 2 subreddit, said this: Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 ports will have major issues if Sony and Activision don't address them beforehand. This sounds eerily similar to what Alex, the prominent leaker in the Call of Duty community, said. He basically said Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 ports are a DOA, essentially. So let's see what this Salt Painter has to say, because he kind of goes more in depth into what Alex meant there. Check this out. A big selling point of this port is the separate servers from the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. However, a lot of people don't understand why those games were infected in the first place, so I'll do a quick recap. The PS3 was hacked by GeoHot through the Other OS feature, which eventually led to the system's encryption keys being leaked. Afterward, DEX CFWs like Rebug started appearing, and with the ability to spoof console IDs, it led to many PS3 games being overrun by cheaters. This hasn't happened on PS4 because the encryption keys have never leaked. That means the only jailbreakable PS4s are running exploits on specific firmware versions. The upside is that all these systems are on lower firmware versions that cannot go online. The same applies to PS5 jailbreaks. So you might think the PS4 and PS5 are safe, but that's not entirely correct. And the part I'm going to read you after this should just solidify how big of a fucking disaster these ports are going to be. Look at this. The PS4 and PS5 has certain consoles called dev kits and test kits. These consoles aren't similar to their retail variants. They have debug options and can run in DeX mode. A lot of people think they're paperweights because they can only run DPKGs, debug packages, and not retail packages, which is completely true. However, retail packages can be dumped and converted into DPKGs. People have already seen jailbroken PS4s with the installed BO1 and BO2 packages that can't run due to licensing restrictions. These games have already been dumped as D packages, and once the licenses become available and the game releases, people will be able to run them on jailbroken PS4s, dev kits, and test kits. From there, they can begin the process of decompiling and finding the offsets needed for cheat development using IDA or whatever reverse engineering tools they prefer. The thing is, older test kits and dev kits can be downgraded and upgraded even without being officially activated, thanks to an exploit present on older 5.05 firmware versions. Basically, they can fake activate the kits on older firmware, install modified packages and RTM tools, then update to the latest firmware, sign in online, and mod games. This already happens on older games like The Last of Us, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Black Ops 3. People sell services for these games and keep it relatively low-key. The difference is how Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 theater mode works. These cheats can spread almost like a virus. All it takes is one dev kit or test kit to spread an infection online. It gets worse though. Let's just keep going. Okay? Let's just keep going before I even talk about any of this. The process is tedious, and the average person won't be able to do it. It requires decent scene knowledge, not only in reverse engineering games, but also in dumping and recompiling packages into D packages. It also requires access to expensive dev kits or test kits that can cost around $1,500. They're essentially one-time use only systems because if they get banned, they can't spoof console IDs as easily as the previous generation. It's also very detectable. GTA 5 on PS4 and other modern COD games can detect this effortlessly, usually through memory modifications. Most devs can't really develop effective bypasses because of how the console architecture works, making it nearly impossible to completely hide. I'm just pointing this out because I own 2 PS4 dev kits and 1 PS5 test kit. I've developed homebrew for the scene and used to develop for the PS3 as well. Seeing them potentially mess up an excellent game again due to a lack of awareness is absurd. Sony simply needs to block dev kits and test kits from being able to access retail online services. Here's even some recent proof, and this is for The Last of Us, COD Ghosts, etc. People with test kits and dev kits are rare, but they can still mod older COD games and older PS4 games. Most of the people who are actively doing it have been console banned, making them paperweights, but there are still some people behind the scenes who will charge for unlocks and keep it private. Still disgusted that it's even possible in the first place, and I wanted to say something to hopefully avoid the misinformed bullshit that will inevitably be posted online when this eventually pops up. Now, if your money's on them actually fixing things and keeping things running smoothly, I'm sorry guys, but you are incredibly fucking gullible. It's just not gonna happen. I get that's a big nerdy kind of spiel there, but essentially anyone with one of these like jailbroken test kit, dev kit, PS4s or whatever, PS5s even, can essentially spread hacks through Black Ops 1 and 2 like a virus. I just can't. From what I understand here, this is ported by the people who ported over the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games or something like that. And from what I understand, people were not very happy with those ports. Now, I don't know a lot about those. I don't have a lot of information pertaining to these devs and those ports. I don't play those games or whatever. So Take that with a grain of salt and do your own research there. But from what I am seeing here, Activision is so fucking lazy and want to make a quick cash grab due to the utter failure that was Black Ops 7 that they're re-releasing these games as quote-unquote ports for obscene prices, and these games will undoubtedly be hacked. I mean, you're gonna get digital COVID on your fucking Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 games. It's only a matter of time, pretty much. And you might be saying, well, BT, there's no way these people are going to spend $1,500 just to spread cheats online. Motherfucker, some of these people will spend $1,500 every month so that they could look like the biggest virgin by buying all the skins in the store. I'm not kidding, man. They will buy cheats. They will buy Cronus Zens. They will buy every skin under the sun. It's actually a fucking addiction nowadays. If you have a little bit of extra money, maybe you won some gambling, maybe you're a crypto millionaire, maybe you bought the S&P 500 40 years ago. I don't know, man. But the point is that if somebody has disposable income and they are a loser who cheats in Call of Duty, say no more. Say no more. This is going to be the biggest cash grab. I would advise you, seriously. I know people are excited for these games to come out on PS5 and PS4 or whatever. I get that. I get that Call of Duty sucks, and the only way you could even play these older games is like through some bastardized version in Black Ops 7 right now with Black Ops Classic mode. Otherwise, if you try to hop online on any other game, they're all hacked to shit. Now, why would you believe, like if you have any intelligence whatsoever, why would you believe that this port combo coming out is not going to have the same fate as all these older Call of Duty games? Now, he said something like newer Call of Duty games can detect these cheats and stuff like that and shut them down. And yet, a game as new as Modern Warfare 3 cannot detect this stuff. And I'm not talking about the OG. I mentioned this in the previous video, but Modern Warfare 3, the newest one, the 2023 version, the game's 3 years old. Not even that. And it's already hacked to shit. People are already exploiting the fuck out of the multiplayer. The game's 2.5 years old. I don't know. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you need to see this, and you need to see that I'm not grifting, and I'm not trying to just make a mountain out of a molehill, and I'm not trying to scare you or just tear down Call of Duty and be a hater. I'm trying to warn you and save you $80 or more here. Just don't even fuck with these ports unless they give you like a written out guarantee that hackers will never infect these games, and that you, if they do infect the games, you can take them to court and sue them and get your money back or something. Unless they do that, do not purchase these ports. We don't even know a lot of information about them, which is incredibly weird, by the way, isn't it? They announce the ports are coming, and then they pretty much go ghost on us. They don't give us any details whatsoever. They just use their puppet Charlie Intel to talk about the price to see if the fans are going to actually buy the game for these obscene prices or whatever. That's what they do, by the way. They keep using him as a puppet to kind of gauge public sentiment. Well, the public sentiment is that the games cost too fucking much. But aside from that, man, unless they stick with these games and hire the Iron Sheiks or whoever the fucking dev team is that are just porting us over, then the game is probably going to be overrun by hackers within a month, I would say. Regardless, guys, that's going to be it for me. A little shorter video, but I just wanted to kind of get this out there and get a warning out before these ports come out, before you get like member berries, and before you let the marketing hype take over. Please wait until they solidify that there will not be any sort of cheating or hacking, and they put their stamp of approval on it, and they swear by this shit. Wait until that happens before you even think about purchasing these ports. And with that, guys, I'm out of time. I hope you enjoyed. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Ring that notification bell. I'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.